Well, good evening, everyone. It's just gone past 9 o'clock here in the evening in Les Sables d'Olonne. We're back. Ada and I got in about 3 hours ago here, and I've just had 3 hours of emails. And now we'll get this happening, and we leave at 5:30 again tomorrow morning for Malta for the Yacht Racing Forum, doing some things there and talking all things yacht racing. Anyway, been a few hectic days for sure, and it was kind of interesting because while you were watching Tapio live in his life raft, tracking, we were monitoring everything via the internet on the plane as we flew up from Cape Town. We left about midnight last night and arrived about midday today, and then drove back down to Les Sables d'Olonne. So everyone did a pretty good job on the water and in the Rescue Coordination Centre and in the office for GGR, Seb Lutz and Jane. And Ada and I were busy down in Cape Town coordinating everything as well before we set out. So Kirsten, amazing job. Avalish, thanks mate for heading up there as well. Tapio, we had a message from Tapio. We're just waiting for a call anytime soon to discuss all the issues about, about the whole process. From trying to come up with, and I really don't know whether Tapio's got any idea exactly what happened with the sinking of Asteria. It was obviously a very dramatic and quick exit from the boat, and he hasn't mentioned much so far. So we'll be interested to talk to him about that, and also his experience evacuating from the boat, and then the whole process of Kirsten arriving, and then transferring to the ship. And you can see he's still on the tracker because he's still got the YB3. That's where we got the message. The captain of the master of the vessel is going to let Tapio use his satellite phone, and he wants to ring us and tell us his side of exactly what happened. So that will be very interesting to follow on and sort of learn from that as well. And there'll be a full debrief later on when he gets to China. Hopefully they won't keep him in quarantine for too long, and then he'll get out, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people interested in exactly what's going on. But for now, there is still some good news he could give us to satisfy all the questions and comments that people have been making. Everyone's really happy with the fact that he's clear, and Kirsten's now back racing. So currently Tapio is making, he's just pulling away from Kirsten, and he's making 11 knots. He's flying. Anyway, he's feeling pretty good, and Kirsten should be feeling extremely good as well. She did a great job. She's currently back in the hunt, 5.9 knots. We will assess the situation with Kirsten's compensation for time, and same with Abolish. They both diverted, and we'll get around to that. We've got all the raw data to come up with a fair and reasonable compensation package for both of them. And we'll get into that towards the end of the week, and let everyone know how that actually works. That's probably enough of that for now. Simon is still riding out this bit of a blow here, and in fact he's making 6.6 knots. This was quite a surprise. I missed this on the because I was concentrating on all the issues that were going on with Abolition, and we're in the plane and then driving, so this one snuck up on Simon without us alerting him to the fact, and he seems still pretty happy at the moment. It was what you got looking at there is about forecast 40 knots, gusting up to 55 with 6 metre seas. So it was quite a little epic, but it looks like it went through reasonably fast. He's currently doing 6.6 knots, and he's done only 84 miles in the last 24 hours. But it is pushing him away from the no-go zone, which is a good thing. He was pretty close previously, so better have it coming from the southwest rather than the other way around. And there's this big high coming through here. Avalish is still sort of drifting around a bit, 2.8 knots. And as I mentioned, Kirsten's doing 5.9. She's in the residual of this, and we'll move it along, progressing forecast going forward in a minute. Captain Good caught in this light winds, 1.7 knots, and at least he's going in the right direction. So I think from here, seeing we're already here, we'll look at two things. One is we'll have a quick peek at the currents and see how that might be affecting anyone at the moment. Okay, so Kirsten's about to sail right into that southerly set. Here she is here, and that may, that's not going to affect her too much because the breeze there, hang on, the breeze is coming the other way, but it's really light. So it will be a bit of wind against current there, which can change the shape a bit. Sea state size that she's talking about, and it's still showing that's probably a good 3.5 meters rather. Avalanche is down around 2 meters, but the wind's light, so it shouldn't be too bad. So coming back to currents here, so that'll be interesting to watch. That's probably over the next 12 hours she'll cut across there. Avalanche will be at the tail end of this. He'll have a little bit of effect as well, but there's not a lot of wind there. Simon's way out of it now. Oh no, he just missed one. I thought he was well clear, but must be the real tail end of the limits there. There's a few snaky bits, but it's all pushing him in the right direction, so that's not too bad. And Captain Good just went across. In fact, it's interesting when you look at the blow up here, you can see no, that's hang on, I'm not sure how far back that goes now, but anyway, he's cut across it, and he's making 1.7 knots now, so not a lot going on there, and he might just miss this one here depending on where it goes. I haven't had the luxury of considering all this information. I'm telling to you live as I'm seeing it for the first time. But anyway, eyes are still open. So that's there. Okay, I said we'll progress the weather forecast here to see what's going to happen, and then we'll talk about the remainder of the fleet. So we can see the whole lot there. I'll just toggle this now and see if I'll get rid of that and see if the toggling is working. Nope, I have to activate it, so I'll just kick that. That should do it. Okay, so one's now every hour. You can see the strong winds down by Simon are moving away, so that'll settle down. Kirsten went through a light patch there, so that's light, and Avalish picks up a breeze, so he may start pulling ahead of Kirsten. And everything's going to be subject now to the time allowance that we give both of them. Kirsten's got a bigger one than Avalish, of course, so that'll be relevant. Captain Goog's got plenty of weather. This is now moving into 24 hours away, so got good breezes. Simon's doing okay. He's going to get pushed down a little bit with this northwesterly that's come in, but he did go up, and he'll probably still keep going to the east then rather than go down with it. So some good breezes there all around for the whole fleet. Right, it's the 21st, they go on to the 22nd, so it's about 3 days ahead, and it's sneaking up behind. There's another bit of a front coming through here northwesterly before preceding the front, but Simon will be moving along by then, so not too bad. So there's no surprises for the next 3-4 days, so that's kind of cool. Now we're talking now about Elliott ETAs, and that'll be very interesting because I won't beat around the bush. Will Elliott continue or not? That's going to be quite an interesting subject. There's obviously the temptation once you get up there, but he has been making interesting comments, a bit up and down. I really hope he carries on. The boat, is not looking too bad, but it's a very big personal challenge, and let's see what happens. That's the weather for a couple of days ahead. This is now real-time weather, so we'll talk about his ETA. I'll do it now. I'll just build it up, and he's basically about that looks like less than a day. So here we've got a distance to go of about 120 miles, and he's been making 6.1 knots, and the weather looks like it's probably going to hold. We'll just sit on that for the moment, but it's looking like late tomorrow afternoon, sometime late in the afternoon for Monday into Cape Town. Now we've got Rian and Pete and Eve, and I'm not sure whether I'm not exactly sure. There'll be a few people on the boat there. Pete, previous harbour master, and we're waiting to see, but there's a whole team of people there that'll go out. Their plan is to grab the letters and tapes from Elliott. They'll do the interview, they'll film it all, and as soon as they've done that, we'll stick it up here, and you'll get to see exactly what's happening and see how he's feeling. So that'll be a bit of fun. I wish we were there, but we've got commitments up here as well, and it's all taken a bit longer than we had thought. So stand by for that, and we'll update the ETAs on Facebook as well. So we've got Ian Herbert Jones now struggling a bit with the weather. It's gone light, 1.8 knots, and at least he's got a nice C, so he'll be enjoying it, but he'll be frustrated as well. I'll decrease the size of this and see how. I think we didn't get the tracker up yesterday, but we're all a bit busy, and prior to that I said that when this high forms up and moves forward, they'll dip down a bit and get underway again, and that's exactly what's happening. So our Nord's doing 4.1 knots, pretty much on course. Guy is doing, come on Guy, there it is, 2 knots, so not happy with that one, and you can see why. I'll just make this back a bit so you can see, it's a bit soft all through there, but Ian's doing okay. We'll toggle this forward now and see what's happening with the weather. Okay, so Guy and Arnaud have got breeze. This is going into tomorrow, and certainly Elliot's got breeze. He'll actually follow that all the way through now. It looks like quite strong there, so that's all cool. And Ian's got breeze, so he's probably only 2 and a bit days away, and that's going to hold, so that'd make it into the 23rd. And he's got, once he gets through that little sort of hollow there of light winds, he should have a reasonable breeze going in. So distance wise, I won't blow it up, I'll stick it on here first. Come on, boom boom, just stick it anywhere, then I'll blow it up. Ian Herbert Jones, we had a discussion the other day with Ian. He called me and we discussed his options about coming to Cape Town. It looks as if he might be okay. He did discuss the idea of carrying on to Tassie, but I'm not sure where that's at the moment, so that decision will be made shortly. But he's on a similar latitude, so he may as well just go in. Who knows? We'll just see how it goes. 430 miles away, that's pretty much 3 days. About 3 days sailing, so that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime Wednesday early evening maybe for Ian, so that's kind of good, and the weather looks pretty stable there as well. So that's all really to go through now, and we're travelling again tomorrow down to Malta. I'll try and do a tracker probably tomorrow late afternoon. That's the plan there, and then one every day again, back into the routine. So onward and upwards. Thanks for that. Thanks for all the comments and the good support and everything that we had over the last couple of days. Been quite interesting, to say the least. We're all really surprised, the whole thing, and looking forward to